Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Friday, January 21st. So today we have the moon in Virgo all day, helping us to sort out our emotions, to get in alignment with our headspace, to review, to revisit some of the things that have transpired that we haven't been able to actually process right now. And of course, help us get a little bit organized in our inner realms and in our physical realms. So we have a lot of electricity in the air today. Mercury jumping into an aspect with Neptune will definitely kind of zap us with a new vision, with a new insight, with a new download. Mercury, of course, is retrograde, and Neptune, of course, is our dreams, our vision, our soul experience. And because we are strengthening our connection to the divine, to our higher selves, we're likely going to have a huge flash of inspiration, a huge download on where it is that we have to connect the dots to our past pain, our past experiences, our old ideas, our old connections, and bring them into this present moment to make sense of them, to align with them in preparing to create new ideas and a new path forward. The moon is going to bump into Chiron in not the nicest way. This will likely kind of manifest in a disruption in our day, maybe coming from a personal relationship, from an outside influence that will likely remind us of some of the wounds that we still definitely need to pour into and try to heal. The moon in Virgo is very over-analytical, has the ability to do the deep dive in the psyche, in the heart space, and really pluck out the smaller details on why it is we feel the way that we do, why it is we were hurt the way that we were, and how it is that we have the tools, the resources, and the wisdom inside of us to actually heal that particular wound. The moon is going to trine Uranus. Again, another huge electrical pulse coming in from that Uranian energy, now direct in Taurus. The moon trining with Uranus in this way is definitely going to show us what needs to change, what we have to rebuild, what we have to create, what we have to give birth to in our routines, in our personal relationships, in our financial matters, and really give us a huge download of insight and inspiration on how it is that we're going to make some of these changes. The moon bumps into Pluto, and this is going to give us a little bit of an awkward, uncomfortable energy because, of course, we're very keen, very intent on making some big changes and big transformations in our life. But, of course, we do still have to review and kind of reprocess some of the thoughts, some of the feelings that are coming up for us as we ground in this present moment and give ourselves permission to reflect back. This particular energy is really going to illuminate for us what it is that we actually need in this moment to heal our mind, our body, our soul. And of course, the power that comes from the Plutonian energy does give us the opportunity to level up. The moon bumps into Mercury. And again, Mercury is retrograde, but this is going to be an awesome particular insight, if you will, because as you know, Mercury rules over Virgo energy. So we have a lot of processing, a lot of logic, a lot of practicality coming into our heart space from our mind space. We are getting on the same page between our heart, between our head, because of the connections that we're making, the aha moments that we are having, the moments of genius that we suddenly see things from our past in a totally different way. We're seeing our plans, we're seeing our ideas from a different perspective. Of course, Mercury being retrograde, we're looking back, but all because we have to recognize why things happen the way that they did in order for us to project ourselves forward on our path. This is a time of rest and reflection. This is a time of review and revision, and it all starts in our mental plane, and then we bring it down into the heart space. We're definitely making a lot of progress because the moon is going to trine Venus, who is retrograde in Capricorn. Now, because we're doing the fine tuning in our heart space, because we're having these epiphanies in our mental plane, now we're really getting down to the nitty gritty on what it is that we need emotionally to feel safe, to feel secure, to feel worthy, of the energy in which we put out in the world and the energy that we get back in return. Venus, of course, being retrograde in Capricorn, this is a power struggle within ourselves. And because that power struggle needs to happen in order to humble us in this present moment, to prepare us for the plans, the long-term plans and foundations that we're looking to build that are going to right the wrongs of where it is that we've been doing ourselves an emotional disservice. The moon is going to bump into Saturn, and this is likely going to come from an outside trigger, an outside situation, maybe a conversation, maybe an event taking place that is going to illuminate for us the roles and responsibilities that we have in our life and whether or not we're still in alignment with trying to honor those particular commitments. Saturn, of course, is in Aquarian energy, wants us to think long term about the foundations, the systems, the structures that we need to build in order to not only honor ourselves, but to make sure that we are still honoring other people. That Aquarian energy is the collective, and we have huge social responsibilities to humanity right now. And the moon in Virgo is definitely trying to put in perspective what it is that we have to heal within ourselves in order to actually be available to help heal other people. The moon bumps into the sun in not the most comfortable way, but will definitely give us a brand new idea to work with. That sun in Aquarian energy is definitely shining a bright light on our future. We're starting to see the pieces come together. We're seeing new ideas flow into our mental plane. We have the energy, the life force, energy now to pour our attention into what needs to happen in this present moment for us to align with the dreams and the visions that we're actually looking to manifest and bring to life. The moon similarly bumps into Mercury in the same kind of way. And this is really going to provide us with a lot of sparks in our heart space, in our head space, as we kind of connect the dots to what it is that we need to do from here. Yes, Mercury is asleep at the wheel, is kind of unconscious in the underworld right now as he is retrograde, but definitely giving us a lot of insight that's coming from other realms. We have to be prepared to have these moments of genius. We have to be prepared to connect the dots and have an epiphany of why certain things had to happen to land us in this particular place at this particular point in time with this particular set of knowledge and experience. Mercury's going to go ahead and bump into Jupiter, and this is going to definitely come from an outside activation as well. We are having to really put a lot of time and a lot of energy into balancing our intellectual, logical, practical mindset with our intuition, with our sense of knowing, with our gut feeling. Jupiter wants us to grow and expand. Jupiter wants us to align with our higher selves. He's in Pisces. This is all about our spiritual selves, our higher selves, our soul contracts, our life lessons. And of course, Mercury, that rules over that lower level intellect, is trying to make sense of some of the things that we know to be true, even though we don't have the evidence in our physical realms to actually support what it is that we're leaning towards. The moon bumps into Saturn in a very positive way, and this is likely going to ride off of the earlier situation where we had an outside activation illuminating for us the roles and responsibilities that we have to the collective. In this particular situation, we have redefined our position, our role, our responsibility, our own wants, needs, and desires to ourselves first and foremost before we can start showing up for other people. The moon in Virgo bumping into Saturn and Aquarius in this way is definitely going to help us boss up, get an emotional grip over what it is that we actually still feel aligned to do as far as being there for other people, being there for the collective, and doing our part within ourselves to heal ourselves first so that we can show up and lead humanity into what we're trying to create, which of course is New Earth.